My name is Kristin Beynon. I'm the Director of Client Engagement at Magnet. A big thank you to the SBA and Maple Heights for having me this morning. So a little bit on Magnet and who we are. We are a non-for-profit and we stand for the Manufacturing Advocacy and Growth Network. So we're actually part of a national group that's called the MEP. So that's Manufacturing Extension Partnership, a lot of acronyms in nonprofit. And so they exist across the country, and what they are is to help manufacturers grow and thrive. But here in Ohio, we're the third largest state for manufacturing next to Texas and California, predominantly here too in Northeast Ohio. So it's very important that we are able to help manufacturers. So we focus mostly on small to mid-size manufacturers because small to mid-size manufacturers actually make up about 98% of the region's 10,000 manufacturers here in the area. So that's huge. So we do that in a few ways. There's kind of two sides of the house at Magnet. So we do a lot with education. So about 3 years ago, we have been around for 40 years, but 3 years ago, we regentified a old school in Cleveland in the Huff neighborhood. And what we did was we brought in equipment from local manufacturers like Sherwin-Williams and Lincoln Electric. And we have thousands of students that come through for free every year, and they're bussed in, and we have an educator on staff. And she takes an hour and she talks to them in classroom setting about how you could really have a full career here in Northeast Ohio and support a great family with manufacturing. That it's no longer that dark, dirty, dangerous. We have a robot dog that comes out and the kids get to see it, which is really fun. So there's a lot of great automation that they get to see to kind of open their eyes to just what's right here in your own backyard. And from there, then they do a couple hours of hands-on exhibits. They build and race their own cars, kind of learning about some engineering, and then they see a lot with robots and cobots and just learn about some of the companies that are right here. So we do that with Cuyahoga County schools constantly. And then we also have another program called Early College, Early Career that I know Jeff's daughter participated in, which is amazing. That's how we actually got connected. And that is an internship program. So juniors and seniors can intern at manufacturing companies, get paid, and earn credits to graduate. And, you know, they're learning that a lot of these companies are willing to pay for you to go to school if that's something you're interested in, or you have a job right out of college. So that's been a wonderful program that we do at Magnet, just interacting with the community. And it's really helping build the pipeline, too, for manufacturing jobs and awareness of careers. And then I'm more on the industrial consulting side. So with that, there's a few different services that we offer to manufacturers in Northeast Ohio at a very reduced rate because we are a non-for-profit and we're funded by the federal government, the state, as well as private funders that really believe in our mission. And we're also able to offer a lot of services completely free, which is great too. So some of the things that we focus on with manufacturers, our backbone at Magnet is really engineering. So a lot of companies are starting to implement more automation, robots and cobots, and that's not about elimination of jobs. It's just that there's such a shortage of people that we're finding at a lot of companies. Maybe there's 5 open jobs, but you have someone that's phenomenal. So they upscale them, teach them how to work a robot, a cobot, and alleviate a few of those jobs that are open and no longer having to do some of that mundane work. We also do a lot with cybersecurity. There's a lot of companies in the area that sell to the Department of Defense, but also companies are just trying harder to have better cyber hygiene these days with all of the hacks and different things that we're hearing about. And then we also do a lot with operations. So a lot of companies are maybe trying to implement a new line or update their facility, fit more equipment. We're able to come in and very affordably like relay out their whole facility so it's optimized with space and capacity and as efficient as possible. We also find at manufacturers sometimes people are walking 2 miles a day in a large facility and they just don't need to be. So working through that, implementing ERP systems there. We also do a lot with workforce, more around not so much like temp agency type thing. It's more about helping you find employees that are the right employees for your company that want to really stay and they're engaged and they want to be part of your workforce. Also, like creating systems so that people don't want to leave. Like what makes people happy? Stay interviews, talking to your people. And it's not even necessarily just about $1 more somewhere else or the money. It's, a lot of times people really want to have like a friend at work and things of that nature. So just feeling like you belong. And then a lot with succession planning as well, making sure people aren't just walking out the door with years of knowledge that's just completely lost. And then we also do a lot with strategy, marketing, and sales. So really making sure your company's strategy is aligned. We often find in small businesses that owners and C-suite, they're wearing so many hats that they don't have a chance to really be doing their specific role. They're more just in the day-to-day, in the thick of it. So kind of trying to help navigate that. We supply a lot of fractional roles. So maybe you can't hire someone full-time, but you could, we could provide a fractional person to train your salespeople or just different things that you might need to help alleviate some of the stress. And then, of course, we do your basic like websites, social media, helping you navigate, set those all up as well. And then we do a lot with continuous education. So we actually have a program open right now, and this is the one thing that we do that's not just manufacturing specific. It's called Scalerator, and it's a mini MBA type program for companies to grow their business. Most companies find that they grow their business 30% while they're in the program, and it's actually completely free. It's just an application process, and we take 15 companies a year. So if anyone's interested in that, I'd be happy to share the information. And then we also do some CEO cohort groups, and we have tons of free webinars and events constantly. If anyone's interested, you just sign up for our newsletter, and that's a really great way to just come and learn or network. And we do all kinds of topics, mostly specifically for manufacturing, but we never would tell anyone they couldn't come. For example, we might be doing things on AI, cybersecurity, and they're just really helpful for a lot of businesses. And then something that's the last program we have that we work with is we work with startups. So people that have an idea on a napkin that are ready to start prototyping something, or maybe you feel you're ready to go to market. We actually work with you and really help you start to finish. Like, what's your concept? Is it a good idea? Like, let's help you do some market research. Let's talk about pricing. And we do everything from, healthcare to fitness items that we see. That's a really fun area. And every year we actually put on kind of our own Shark Tank. It's called Mspire, and people apply and they can win funding as well as the opportunity to work with Magnet for some free services to help build their startups out. So thank you so much for having me, and that's a little bit about Magnet.
Thanks to the Chi-East Chamber sponsors who help make everything we do possible. Find more ways to grow at chieast.org.